In the last 48 hours, there have been 3 trades done in my league. I've made 2 of them. And if you wanted to get a deal done, this is kind of your last shot. While everybody's going through these crazy bye weeks, everybody's going to have team needs, and the trade deadlines have not gotten here. So I want to tell you about the deals that I made. I want to tell you about the players that I've been targeting myself. And let me just give you a little story of it. All right. So what I decided to do is I went over to flockfantasy.com. Obviously, the people in the Flock League, I can just go ahead, look at their rankings, go, okay, is there anybody that is higher on my players than I am? And I saw that Nathan had Cam Skattebo as his like RB7, RB8 rest of season. And I looked at it and went, you know what? I actually have Cam Skattebo ranked behind Derrick Henry rest of year. So let me offer Cam for Skattebo, see what he says. I would be happy to make that 1-for-1 swap. And also I kind of like trading Cam Skattebo to Nathan in particular because Scat has a week 14 bye and I play Nathan in week 14. And that's always something you need to make sure you check in when you're making these trades. But anyway, the reason I tried trading for Derrick Henry is this is a running back that, while yes, he's been horrendous through the first 6 weeks this season, where you've actually only had 1 game with 15 or more fantasy points, and you've actually seen 3 games with fewer than 10, we can very easily excuse this away for Derrick Henry. And that's based off the record for the Baltimore Ravens and how many points the Ravens have been putting up. Because if we go through and if we actually look at this right now, the Baltimore Ravens are sitting at the very bottom of their division. They are 1-5. And obviously, if we are looking at Derrick Henry, that's the exact worst situation you could find yourself in. Because Derrick Henry's a running back that has nothing on third downs, nothing in the 2-minute drill. He is giving you literally 0 as a receiver, which is why this was my 3rd straight season fading Derrick Henry in fantasy drafts. And obviously, it may be finally working out. Now, I don't have faith that it's going to work out throughout the entire season because now you have Lamar Jackson back in. If you go over and you look at sportsbooks at the moment, they currently have the Baltimore Ravens favored by about a touchdown in this game against the Chicago Bears. And they actually have Baltimore right there with about even odds to win this division in comparison to the Pittsburgh Steelers, who at 4-2, where the Ravens are at 1-5. So what sportsbooks are telling us at the moment, and I want to remind y'all, sportsbooks know more than you do. They know more than I do. They know more than all of us do, is that you actually should expect that the Baltimore Ravens are winning games going into the future. You look at these matchups that you have for Derrick Henry in like 2 weeks against the Miami Dolphins in week 9, he's probably going to be a top 3 running back in my rankings. So I went ahead, I offered Cam Skattebo for Derrick Henry, expecting the Baltimore Ravens to be much better in the future. That got rejected, but Nathan did counter and he offered me Quinshon Judkins for Cam Skattebo, and I went ahead and I was in a trading mood. 1, I wanted to send him Cam Skattebo because I play him in week 14. Scat's on bye. And 2, I just looked at most creators on the site. I think everybody but the domain guys actually had Quinshon Judkins ranked ahead of Cam Skattebo rest of season. So I went, oh, okay. Well, if I trade for Quinshon Judkins, there's a chance that I could actually flip him. So I went ahead, I accepted that deal, and I had Quinshon Judkins on my team. And then immediately I had a lead on who I was going to try to sell Quinshon Judkins to, because if you remember, my team, what I need more than anything is I needed a wide receiver. My quarterback room was Josh Allen. My running back room, I had Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley, Cam Skattebo, Travis Etienne, Tony Pollard. But wide receiver, I'm lacking. I only have like DK Metcalf, Stephon Diggs, T. Higgins. So I wanted to flip for a wide receiver, and I saw in our group chat that immediately you actually had Danny pissed at Nathan because apparently Danny had been trying to trade for Quinshon Judkins. So I went and got in his DMs. I said, hey man, what was your deal with Nathan? Just interested. And then he said, oh, I was essentially trying to send him Rome in a piece for Judkins in a piece. And I went, oh, okay. Well, what do you think about us making a trade involving Rome Odunze? I have Rome and Judkins ranked essentially back to back. I really need a wide receiver on my team. And Rome has already gone through his bye. And a big thing now that we're in week 8 is if you get an extra game out of a player, you need to understand how big that is in terms of the percentage of the season that we are looking at. Because we are already in week 8. We have week 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We have 7 regular season games left. So if you're going to get an extra game in the regular season, that's about 15% extra availability. That's a much bigger deal than trading for a player and getting an extra game from them back when we're in week 1, especially knowing that the bye weeks are about to be brutal coming up. So I went through and I was like, yes, I am very interested in Rome for a multitude of reasons. One, you can go back and look at the beginning of the season and see the upside that we had with Rome Odunze. Rome came through, he scored 16 points, 32 points, 15 points, and 17 points through the first 4 weeks. He looked incredible. He had a combined 5 touchdowns through those first 4 weeks. And then obviously you get the bye week. Rome Odunze is very disappointing against the Commanders in week 6, very disappointing against the Saints in week 7. But if you go back and look at the Commanders game, Rome Odunze had like a 30-yard touchdown called back. Now, if that touchdown stood, then you'd be looking at Rome with about 13 fantasy points in that contest and really only 1 bad game to speak of on his resume, which was week 7. And if we take a step backwards and look at what we have with Rome Odunze's overall profile, you actually do have this as a top 10 pick in the NFL draft. Then he obviously falls flat year 1. But you had Shane Waldron there, the same culprit that had Jackson Smith-Njigba doing nothing in his rookie season. And then when we see this leap forward from the wide receiver that was already perceived to be the elite talent at the beginning of year 2, I'm willing to buy it based off the profile that he had coming into school. One other thing that makes me confident with this is Rome Odunze does project out better on Underdog than what I actually see with some of the wide receivers on my team. Right now, you're getting a 1.4x multiplier for him to score a touchdown against the Baltimore Ravens. So I'm actually going to build out a pick'em with the free gimme pick that we got from me hitting those little basketball shots on Twitter. I don't know if y'all saw. If you use code FLOCK, you actually have a free gimme pick in the app right now. So we're going to go Quentin Johnston to have higher than 47.5 receiving yards on Thursday night against Minnesota. Rome Odunze to score a touchdown. And then we're going to combine that with our free gimme pick. And that's going to be $10 to win about 91. And of course, if you want to do something similar on Underdog Fantasy, you can always find the link in the description as well as the comment section. Code FLOCK will get you $100 added to your account after you play your first 5. And on top of that, you're actually going to be getting a free Justin Herbert pick, higher, lower, half a total yard, and a free additional gimme pick on top of that because we hit those little basketball shots. Underdog Fantasy is the #1 sports app in the App Store because they're an incredible app. They're available in almost every state, and they have the best promos in the industry right now. Code FLOCK will also get you free questions that you can ask me in the live streams, and we're streaming every single day until Christmas. But let's go over and let's look at our next player that I would try to buy low on, which is Zay Flowers. Now, Zay Flowers currently is a wide receiver that's coming off a very bad stretch of games with 3.3, 14.4, 12.2, and 8.6 points. But again, going right back to what we were talking about with Derrick Henry, we'll keep this very brief. Sportsbooks are telling us that the Baltimore Ravens should be much, much better going into the future, that Lamar Jackson's going to elevate this offense yet again to being one of the best offenses in the league. Right now, you have the Ravens-Bears game this week projected with the highest over-under of any game on the slate. So, yeah, I think Baltimore's back. Not only am I trying to go out there and make trades for Derrick Henry, but I'd also be doing the same thing for Zay Flowers. And then going over and looking at a couple injured players that I think I'd be interested in trading for. I personally am sitting at 5-2. I'm in the 2nd spot with my own league standings. If you were 2-5 and you're in a very different position than I am, where you have to win right now to make it into the playoffs, you do not try trading for Amari and Hampton. I'm talking to the other owners out there that are 5-2, that are 6-1. I mean, somehow those gods that are 7-0. And Amari and Hampton's actually going to be a pretty interesting shout out at this point because we are now going to officially be 3 weeks into the Amari and Hampton injury once we get this Thursday night game against the Minnesota Vikings. And what we have seen is we've actually seen this team opt to not trade for a running back. I actually thought once you had Amari and Hampton going down with the Najee Harris injury that you were possibly going to have them go out there and make a play for Breece Hall. But in my mind, if they were going to trade for Breece, if they were going to trade for Alvin Kamara, they probably would have already done it. I don't think they're going to wait until right before you have Amari and Hampton come back into this offense, and then all of a sudden they're going to go out there and make that play. And y'all know we talked about this a lot when you had Joe Alt go down as well, is that this offensive line was going to take a significant hit, and it was going to go from being one of the best offenses in the league to then one of the worst. So now the stars are aligning where you have Amari and Hampton eligible to come back in week 10. Now this team has the week 12 bye, and they already came through and they said, you know what, Amari and Hampton's probably going to miss more than 4 weeks. So realistically, if I were trading for Amari and Hampton, I'm not expecting him back until week 13. But if you're 5-2, you're a playoff team. If you're 6-1, you're a playoff team. And Amari and Hampton's going to come back and probably be an immediate RB1 in my rankings, especially if we were to be in a spot in which Joe Alt comes in and improves this offensive line as well. Now, Brock Bowers is also a player that I'm going to be interested in trading for. Bowers was quote unquote horrible through the first 4 weeks. And by him being horrible, he was averaging about 11 points per game without scoring a touchdown, and he was playing through a significant injury. We already have the report saying that Brock Bowers is going to be back after the week 8 bye. So essentially, you should treat Brock Bowers as if he is healthy at this point. So if I were looking at this, I would say that, you know what? You have guys like Jake Ferguson that also need to go through their bye week. You're going to get the same amount of games played going forward into the future. And with the Jacoby Myers trade looming, realistically, you probably have Brock Bowers all of a sudden as somebody that's going to be a 25% team target share tight end. And even though it's a garbage offense, we saw him be an elite tight end last season in a garbage offense. So I stand by. We have Brock Bowers as tight end 3 rest of season. I don't think he's in the same tier with McBride. I don't think he's the same tier as Tyler Wharton, but I would honestly be fine even if you 4-3, 3-4 teams went out there and put some feelers out for Bowers, knowing that like hell, he was going to miss this week 8 bye anyway. It's not like you're missing additional games. And then also with that, I know it's crazy, but I don't mind buying Ashton Jeanty. We had Ashton Jeanty ranked incredibly low this past week because he had to go up against the Kansas City Chiefs. And you were looking at the spread in the game, largest spread of the week. We knew the Chiefs defense. We know the Chiefs offense. They were going to blow out the Raiders. It's not going to be that case every single week going into the future. You can look at that 3-week stretch that we had from Ashton Jeanty in weeks 4, 5, and 6, where he was averaging over 20 points per game. He's still a workhorse level running back. We did see some receiving upside in week 5 as well against the Indianapolis Colts. And right now, I think it should be kind of easy for you to go out there and try to trade for him, knowing that you are dealing with him on the bye week for a lot of owners. So I would try to trade for Ashton Jeanty if you're able to pick him at an RB2 price tag. Obviously, you can have checked out all our rankings on the site, and also they should have been popping up in this video as well. So you can get a sense like, hey, I have Ashton Jeanty RB14. Don't go and trade Kyron Williams for him. Obviously, we have Kyron ranked ahead. But like if you were sitting with Travis Etienne like I have, like I would love to send Travis Etienne for Ashton Jeanty. But I think that's all I got for y'all. I really appreciate you. And of course, if you wanted to check out any of those Underdog pick'ems, you can find that link to Underdog Fantasy in the description as well as the comment section. Code FLOCK will give you a free Justin Herbert pick, higher, lower, half a total yard. It will get you $100 after you play your first 5, and it will get you free questions that you can ask me in the live streams. And we're live streaming every single day until Christmas. But I think that's all I got for you. I really appreciate you, and I hope I get to see you out with the live stream later tonight.